everyone from the Lutz Academy. Jared Couture here again to bring you another great guitar lesson. Alright, and in today's guitar lesson we are going to be talking about triads, right? So triads, something extremely important and very fundamental in the world of music in general, right? Really this is the building blocks of chords. So this is really the beginning. It's something that all musicians really need to have a really good grip of, and we need to be able to play this all over our guitar, of course, right? All over the place. So let's go ahead and begin. And first I want you to know, please have your guitar out, of course. We're going to play these together. Have it in tune. And lastly, please get a notebook. I would really like you to take notes on some of the key points here that I'm going to be telling you to make sure this information really sticks with you. I really want to make sure that this sticks with you for years to come, alright? So if you take notes, I guarantee you're going to memorize this information much, much faster, alright? So anyway, with that said, let's begin, alright? What are triads? So triads, basically a triad is simply a chord with 3 notes in it, okay? But how do we get that chord is we skip notes in thirds and we put them together and play them simultaneously. So what does that mean, skipping notes in thirds, right? Let's go ahead and try this out. So if we take the musical alphabet, right? The musical alphabet basically consists of 7-letter names, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? We just use these 7 letters. So let's go ahead and just pick one. Let's start with A, the beginning of the alphabet, right? So we take A and we're going to skip notes in thirds and create a chord. So how do we do that? Well, it's pretty simple, really. All we have to do is skip over one note and we will have our notes in thirds. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's go ahead and say A, we're going to skip B, A, B, C. So A to C is a third away, right? C is the third note from A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, right? A, C. So from C, now we're going to skip one more third and we're going to have our 3 notes. So C, D, E. We skip D, we go to E, we have A, C, and E, right? Now, play those 3 notes together if you know where they are on the guitar. We have A, C, and E combined, we play them together, and we have the sound of A minor. So that is a minor chord. This is an A minor chord. How did we get that chord? Well, we started with one note, skipped in thirds until we got 3 notes and we played them simultaneously. So that is one way that you can construct triads. But of course there's different types of triads. So this is a minor triad. This is the sound of a minor triad. So go ahead and write this down. You're going to learn 4 types of triads today. Major, minor, diminished, and augmented. Okay? If you want to put them in order, you can put major and augmented next to each other and minor and diminished next to each other. I kind of categorize these together, right? So anyway, so we've heard the sound of A minor. Now, another thing I want you to do in this video is really pay attention to the sound of each triad. So what does this sound like to you? I'd like you to write your own definition of each. Music is something we hear, right? It's all about the sound. So I think it's really important that we connect really strongly to the sound, even more important than the theory. The theory helps us a lot, especially within identifying sounds. That's all it really is. If I say minor, I'm just telling you, I'm identifying a sound, which happens to be minor, right? But what I think of minor is my own thing. Most people would say it's sad, it's gloomy, it's dark, it's something like this. And so I just kind of gave you one there, but I'd like you to really come up with your own sound. What do you think that sounds like? The sound of minor. Go ahead and write this down. Same chord. You know, here's A minor. So what does this sound like to you? Does it remind you of anything? Some people see colors, some people see images, you know, some people feel a certain way. But each sound does have a different effect on us, so it's important to recognize which is which, alright? Anyway, so that's minor. Now, the other sounds, we have major, augmented, and we have diminished, right? So let's go ahead and, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to play these right now, and you can write down what they sound like as well. So let's go ahead and we're going to move away from A, and I'm going to do one starting with the notes C. So if we skip notes from C, what would it be? Right? If we use the alphabet, we just start on C. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. That's C to C. So C, D, E. Skip D, C, E, E, F, G. Skip F, so C, E, and G. We just skip notes in thirds, right? Now, another way to think of this is there's always some type of 1, 3, and 5 within a triad. We can alter the third or the fifth, like we can flatten the third, or we can, flatten the 5 as well. We can raise the fifth as well by 1/2 step. We're always going to use some 1, 3, and 5. It's something to kind of take note on. Triads have a 1, a 3, and a 5. All right. So let's go ahead and start with C, E, and G. So we play those together. This is what it sounds like. This is the sound of C major. I'd like you to go ahead and play this with me. What I'm doing is I'm taking my second finger and I'm putting it on the 5th fret of the G string. This note is C. Now, pinky just behind it on the 2nd string on the 5th fret as well, and the first finger now is going to go on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. This is C, this is the note E, and this is the note G. And it happens to become C major. Why C? C is the lowest one, the 1. So this is our 1, 3, and 5, C, E, and G. Now, what we can do is to also understand chords is always relate to major, and then kind of move things around to get other sounds. So we'll go ahead and start with our major, and this is like our parent chord, we'll call it. Like we can relate everything to the major chord to move the other ones, all right? So if this is major, I'd like to go ahead and show you augmented now. So all we do to change something, we have 1, 3, and 5, C, E, and G, right? So we raise the 5th of a major chord by 1/2 step, and we get augmented. So the 5th is G, 1, 3, 5, right? C, E, and G, we're going to raise it 1/2 step, it becomes G sharp. G is on the 1st string here. So I'm going to play up 1/2 step with my 2nd finger now, and just these 3. That's the sound of augmented. Alright, so that's augmented. Write down what you think the sound of that is. What that sounds like to you. Okay, so there's augmented. Now let's go ahead and go back to major. First chord shape. Now to make minor is very simple. All we do is we take the 3rd and we lower it 1/2 step. So we have C, E, and G, right? 1, 3, 5. So my E is in the middle. Now I'm going to take this note down 1/2 step instead of here. Now I play those 3 together. I have the sound of minor. Completely different sound, right? Now I want you to play this with me. Make sure you're playing all of these with me. Oops. So here is minor. Alright. And make sure, go ahead and write the sound down. We did talk about minor already. Go ahead and write that down. Now, to make a diminished chord, which is the last one, the 4th one we're talking about today, we're talking about 4 types of chords. All we do is, so basically we alter a minor chord. So we have 1 and flat 3 now. We call that flat 3 if we're using numbers. 1, flat 3, and 5 because we lowered the 3rd a 1/2 step. So it's the flatted 3rd. And now we're going to flat the 5 as well. So we lower the 5th 1/2 step. So this is G. We'll take it down 1/2 step lower, move it down, and now we play G flat. So it's C, E flat, and G flat now, because now we have 1, flat 3, and flat 5. And I would move my fingers to play this, like pinky on C, 3rd finger on E flat here, 4th fret of the 2nd string, 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the 1st string, which is G flat. This is the sound of diminished. Alright? Go ahead and play it, listen to it, write down what you think the sound is. What does diminished sound like to you? Now that we've gone through each 4 of those, we talked about how to change them. Let's go ahead and play them one more time, right? So C major, we'll start back at C major. Now this is 1, 3, and 5, our basic 1, 3, and 5. We can always relate every chord to your basic major, right? So from there, let's go ahead and make augmented. How do we make augmented? Right? So write this down. So to make augmented, we raise the fifth. So 1, 3, sharp 5. So I raise the fifth by 1/2 step. Go back down for major. You can. It's a nice resolution. So now we'll go minor. So we flat the third. 1, flat, 3, 5. C, E flat, and G. We have minor. And for diminished, we have 1, flat, 3, and flat 5. So I flatted the fifth now, change my fingering. Let's go back to major. So, those are 4. I told you, a lot of things about each one of those. What I'd like you to do now is make sure you memorize how to play each one of them. Stop the video, just play all 4, memorize these shapes now, and tell yourself, this is major, this one is minor. Remember which is which. And think of the sound for each of them to help you remember. Because like I said, music is all about sound. We hear music, that's the joy. We feel it too. We literally feel, we feel music like when you hear a bass, boom, and it vibrates your whole body, But we also hear it, and it's a big part. So we need to know what it sounds like. All right? So, right there, that is the beginning. So last thing I'd like to show you in this video is how to move these basic shapes to get different triads, right? Let's say you're reading a chord chart and it says D major and you don't know where to play D major. Well, simply you can just memorize these 4 shapes that we just went over and know that the lowest note that you're playing in that shape is the name of the chord. So for instance, we said this was C major, right? That's C major. Why? Well, of course we found out because it has the notes C, E, and G, which are the notes in C major. But let's say we want to play D major. All you need to do is make sure the lowest note that you're playing is the note D, and you keep the same shape for major. Remember that this shape is a major triad rooting on this string set. Anytime you play triads rooting from these 3 strings, this is one way you can play major. So this shape means major. So if you know where D is on the fretboard, here's D, a whole step above C, play the same shape. Now we have D major. What about D minor? Can you play D minor? Try it. Right? It's here, just lowering that third. Right? What about E minor? How do you play E minor? Just move it up, right? So I'm starting with E now as my lowest note, and I'm playing that same shape. This is always minor, this is always major, this is always augmented, and this one's always diminished. So now you have learned 4 different triad shapes on the guitar, understand what they sound like by writing your own definition, you learn how to move them, or you're at least aware that you can move them around, and we talked about many things, right? Skipping notes and thirds, how to create a triad. So I just want you to know that this video lesson is really the basics of triads. Just getting your foot in the door, starting to know it, seeing how you can create them on the guitar. I really recommend checking out the other video that we made about notes on the fretboard and the musical alphabet, because that's going to help you move these chords around anywhere you want, all over the guitar. It's going to really help, alright? So anyway, that's the basic info for this lesson. Stick around for more on triads, right, where I'll show you how to play these all over the rest of the fretboard, and also, of course, make music with them, right? Triads, right? Right? Of course we'll be using this. You use this in every song. We're using triads all the time in music everywhere. So anyway, just start wrapping your head around this stuff. Stay tuned for the next lessons to come, and we'll see you later in some other lessons, alright? If you have any questions, please write to us. Let us know. We're all in this musical journey together, alright? Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.